I never thought life could feel so peaceful after everything we went through. After months of emotional chaos, near breakups, actual breakups, jealousy storms, misunderstandings, slammed doors, late-night confessions, tearful reconciliations, we somehow ended up here, together, for real this time. No living together but not together, no half measures, no distance under the same roof. Just us. Or so I thought. Because peace doesn't last long when you're with someone who once ran from the relationship out of fear. And it definitely doesn't last long when you yourself are still learning how to be loved without expecting it to fall apart. Our story didn't end with the keys to the new apartment. It only started. First sign something was off. First weeks in our new place felt unreal. We cooked together every evening. We fell asleep tangled up in each other. We laughed like actual best friends. We planned small weekend trips, nothing fancy, just hiking trails, thrift stores, small town cafes with cinnamon rolls bigger than your face. But happiness has a strange way of making you nervous when you're not used to it. She'd sometimes stare at me like she wanted to say something, but then she'd swallow the words. Or she'd grip her phone a little too tight. Or she'd look away when I walked into the room unexpectedly. It wasn't cheating. I didn't feel that vibe. It was something else. Something deeper. Something she didn't want me to know, but I didn't push. I told myself, don't ruin this. Just let her come to you when she's ready. Turns out, she wasn't planning to. The stress cracks begin. 5th week in our new place. I woke up at 3:12 a.m. I didn't know why. Then I realized she wasn't beside me. The apartment was dark except for a faint glow coming from the living room. I walked there quietly, almost jokingly, thinking I'd catch her eating cereal straight from the box again. But she wasn't eating. She was sitting on the couch, hugging her knees, shaking, and crying silently. I froze. Not because I didn't want to help her, but because she cried exactly like she did the night she broke up with me months ago. Same posture, same silent tears she thought no one would hear. I sat next to her and said gently, "Talk to me." She flinched, wiped her face quickly and said, "I'm fine." But she wasn't. She was terrified. Of what? I didn't know yet. But the fear in her eyes was the same fear of someone who expects everything to collapse at any moment. And despite her wanting closeness, she was pulling away. Again. The unexpected visitor 3 days later. While she was at work, someone knocked on our door. When I opened it, a woman I'd never seen before stood there with an envelope in her hand. She had that face, calm, polite, but too serious to be just a casual visitor. Is this the residence of her name? I nodded slowly. And you are? I'm her mother. Her mother. I'd heard about her only once. In one sentence. You don't want to meet her, she told me. Now I understood why. Her mother walked past me without asking for permission, looked around the apartment, and frowned like she'd stepped into a crime scene. Is she home? She asked sharply. No, she's at work. Good. Then we need to talk. She gave me the envelope. Inside were documents, medical, school-related, financial. All of them had my girlfriend's name on them, and all of them had one thing in common: deadlines, warnings, payments, and resolved issues. Letters from institutions. Her mother crossed her arms. She didn't tell you, did she? I shook my head. She's drowning, her mother said bluntly. She's been hiding it for years. She doesn't know how to ask for help. She'll burn her entire life down before she admits she can't carry everything alone. I swallowed hard. Why didn't you help her? Her mother laughed bitterly. She doesn't let anyone help. She pretends everything is fine until it's an emergency. Then she shuts down. My chest tightened, because that was exactly what she'd done with me. Her mother left with a final warning: if you stay with her, be prepared. She will push you away again. Not because she doesn't love you, but because she's terrified she doesn't deserve anything good. When she was gone, I sat on the couch staring at the documents. And for the first time in months, I was scared too. The secret she was trying to hide at night. When she came home, I didn't confront her. I just watched her. How tired her shoulders looked. How she kept avoiding my eyes. How she forced a smile that didn't reach them. Finally, I said, "We need to talk." She froze. Not guilty, but terrified. "Did someone come today?" She whispered, "Yes." She closed her eyes. And right then, she broke. She sat on the floor, leaned against the wall, and sobbed the way people cry when the weight is finally too much. Between sobs, she confessed everything. Her dad hadn't supported her in years. Her mother blamed her for everything. She hadn't paid bills from when she lived alone. She almost got kicked out of her previous school. She lost her scholarship. She kept it hidden because she didn't want to bring problems into the new relationship. She looked at me with red, swollen eyes. I didn't want to ruin us again. I didn't want you to think I'm a mess. I didn't want you to feel responsible for me. I thought if I stayed perfect, everything would stay good. But I can't be perfect. I'm just me. She expected me to walk away. I know she did, but I pulled her close and said, "You don't have to be perfect for me. You just have to be honest." For the first time since we moved in, she actually believed me. The storm before the sunlightings got better for a while. We worked through her documents together, made a financial plan, set up deadlines. I helped her rewrite letters, make calls, set reminders. She finally let me into her world instead of locking me out of it. But stress does strange things to relationships. One night she snapped at me over something small. A cup left in the sink. I told her she was stressed. She said I was treating her like a project. I said I was trying to help. She said she didn't ask for help. I told her I loved her. She said, "You only love me when I'm broken." That one cut deep. She didn't mean it, but she said it. She slept on the couch that night. Not because she was mad, but because she was ashamed. The next morning she apologized, barely looking at me. "I'm scared I'll lose you again," she whispered. So I sabotaged it. I held her hands and said, "You won't lose me, but you can push me away if you keep running." She cried again. But this time, it wasn't hopeless crying. It was relief. The turning point a few weeks later, she surprised me. She told me she'd signed up for therapy. She told me she wanted to fix her patterns. Not for me, but for herself. She told me she wanted to learn how to stay instead of running, how to ask for help instead of collapsing, how to build instead of hiding. And for the first time in a long time, I saw hope in her as instead of fear. From that day forward, things slowly, carefully, gently began to change. She opened up more. She communicated honestly. She let me know when she was overwhelmed. She didn't shut me out. We became a team, not to people living in survival mode, not to people scared of losing each other, just to people trying. And that was enough. The shocking but beautiful ending 3 months later, on the morning of her birthday, she asked me to go for a walk with her before sunrise. The city was quiet. The sky was purple and gold. She was wearing my hoodie and holding my hand so tightly it almost hurt. We stopped at a hill overlooking the street. She took a deep breath. "I want to give something back," she said. Then she handed me an envelope. Inside was a signed rental agreement. Not for our current apartment, for a bigger one, brighter, closer to her new campus, with enough rooms for a future she was finally ready to believe in. "I want us to build something," she whispered. "For real this time. Not running, not breaking, not almost losing each other. Just choosing each other." I looked up. She was crying, but they weren't the tears she cried months ago. These were happy tears. And then she said the words I never expected. "You didn't save me. You showed me how to save myself. And I want to spend my life choosing you, the way you chose me even when I didn't deserve it." I pulled her into my arms as the sun came up behind us. And for the first time since the day we met, the future didn't scare either of us. So, I really thought the story ended there. After everything that happened with Emily, her vanishing, the secrets, the reunion, and the truth that almost tore us apart, I thought life would finally calm down. But looking back now, Season 1 was nothing compared to what happened next. Because Season 2 wasn't about losing her. It was about fighting for a future that everyone told us we could never have. And the first sign that something was wrong came just 3 weeks after things finally went back to normal. Chapter 1. The messages she tried to hide. Emily had been acting strange again. Not that I'm about to disappear overnight strange, but that I'm terrified of something and pretending everything's fine strange. She kept her phone on silent, face down, always locked. One night, while we were studying at my place, her phone lit up. Just a single message preview. Just one sentence, but it made her freeze. "He's back. You need to talk to him." Emily snatched the phone up so fast she knocked her iced coffee over. I didn't ask anything. Not yet, because I recognized the fear in her eyes, the same fear she once had when she ran away from me to protect me. Chapter 2: The Return of the Ghost from her past. A week later, she finally sat me down. Her hands were shaking. Liam. He's back in town. Oh. She swallowed hard. My father. I felt my stomach drop. Her father was the reason she disappeared in the first place. Her father. The man who threatened me. The man who controlled every part of her life. He wants to meet you, she whispered. Me? Why? I don't know. I'm scared, Liam. He never wants anything unless it benefits him. She looked like she was ready to cry. And something inside me snapped. I wasn't losing her again. Not this time. Chapter 3: An Invitation. 2 nights later, a black car pulled up outside my house. A man in a suit stepped out and handed me an envelope. Inside, an invitation to dinner. Formal. No excuses. Signed, Hadrian Hale, Emily's father. She went pale when she saw it. He's testing you, she said. No, he's testing us. Chapter 4: Dinner with the Devil. At dinner. God, I will never forget it. He greeted us like a CEO greeting two interns he planned to fire. His smile was sharp, cold, calculated. Liam, he said, shaking my hand. The boy who thinks he can protect my daughter better than I can. Emily tensed beside me. I forced a polite smile. I'll do whatever it takes to keep her safe. Good, he said softly. Then you won't mind proving it. I didn't like the way he said proving, and I liked even less the folder he slid across the table. Inside were photos. Of Emily. Of me. Of the places we went. The people we saw. We were being watched. Not just recently. For months. Emily grabbed my hand under the table. Dad, this is insane. This is protection, he said calmly. The world is dangerous. Liam, can you protect her better than I can? My jaw clenched. He was challenging me, and I made a mistake. I said yes. He smiled. Like that was exactly what he wanted. Chapter 5: The Conditions. Gave us rules. A list. Curfews. Tracking apps. Weekly check-ins. For both of us. It wasn't protection. It was control. And when we left, Emily broke down in the car. I knew it, she cried. I knew he'd try to get in your head. Liam, he's dangerous. I held her shoulders. Let him try. I'm not letting him push you around anymore. But I didn't realize then. He wasn't trying to control her. He was trying to break me. Chapter 6: The First Threat. First threat wasn't violent. It was worse. A message. Sent straight to my phone. An address. A time. Come alone or she'll suffer for your cowardice. Emily didn't know. I didn't want to scare her. So I went. Chapter 7: The Location. It was an abandoned greenhouse outside town. Why here? Why me? Her father stepped out from the shadows, hands folded behind him. You think you can stand between me and my daughter? He asked. I'm not standing between anything, I said. I'm standing with her. He stepped closer. Then you'll listen carefully. You will break up with Emily. My blood ran cold. And you will convince her it was your choice. Otherwise. He slipped me a photo. Emily, crying, not recently, years ago. She looked terrified. If she stays with you, he said quietly, she will lose everything. And you will be the cause. Chapter 8: The Ultimatum. He didn't sleep that night. Not a minute. Emily knew something was wrong. She clung to my arm the entire day at school. Liam, talk to me. What's going on? I almost broke, but I didn't tell her. Not yet, because I didn't want her to feel trapped between me and her father. But it only got worse. Chapter 9: The Manipulation. Begins. Your father started appearing everywhere. At school. At my job. Talking to my parents. Talking to teachers. Always smiling. Always polite. Like he was waiting for me to snap. Waiting for me to crack. Emily noticed. Why is he suddenly everywhere? She whispered one day, squeezing my hand like she was afraid someone would tear me away from her. I lied. I said I didn't know. But I did. He wanted to isolate me. Destroy my life. So Emily would see me as unstable. Chapter 1: Oh, the breaking point. Breaking point wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Emily hugged me after school. Like always. Her face buried in my chest. Promise me, she whispered. Promise you won't leave me no matter what he tries. And I felt myself break. Because I had already promised her father I would do exactly that. And suddenly, my choice was lose her by lying to her, or lose her by breaking her heart. But this time, I chose the third option. Chapter 11. The plan. He told my best friend know everything, not all of it. And instead of calling me insane, he said, then we expose him. We gathered proof, screenshots, recordings, photos, messages. At first, it felt impossible. Her father was too powerful, too controlled, too smart, but everyone makes mistakes. And we found a secret, a massive one, something Emily didn't know, something illegal, something that could ruin his life. Chapter 12. The secret that changed everything. Discovered why he wanted to control Emily. Why he tracked her. Why he threatened me. Why he pretended to protect her. She wasn't just his daughter. She was his alibi. His business, his entire empire depended on the image of being a family man. Emily had no idea. And if she ever cut him off, everything he built would collapse. He didn't want to protect her. He wanted to own her. Chapter 1-3. The confrontation. He finally told Emily everything. We sat on the swings at the old park, the place where we kissed for the first time. She listened, silent, still. Emily, he's not protecting you. He's using you. Her hands covered her mouth. She didn't breathe. Liam, why didn't you tell me before? Because he said he would ruin you. She wiped her tears. He already did. And in that moment, something in her hardened. I'm done running, she whispered. This time, we fight back. Chapter 14. The final battle. Gathered evidence. We gathered witnesses. We gathered allies. Noah, my parents, Emily's aunt, even teachers. Everyone contributed pieces of a puzzle Emily didn't know she was living inside. And then, we took it all to the only person her father couldn't silence, her mother, the woman he had cut out of Emily's life for years. And when she saw the evidence, she didn't cry. She said, it's time. Chapter 15. The shocking ending. Her mother confronted him with everything. If he tried to retaliate, the evidence would go public. His empire would crumble. His reputation would be destroyed. He would lose everything he ever used to control Emily. And for the first time, her father broke, not loudly, not violently, but silently. The way powerful men break when they realize power can't save them. Emily and I watched from the hallway as her parents talked. When her mother came out, she said, he's leaving town. He won't bother you again. Emily collapsed into my arms, crying harder than I've ever seen. Not from fear, from relief. And then she whispered, Liam, you didn't save me. You never had to. I saved myself. But I'm glad you stayed with me while I learned how. I kissed her. And for the first time in months, everything was quiet. Everything was safe. Everything was ours.